Good morning. Welcome to Satsang. For example, when you go to the beach, our beach have huge rocks, and sometimes the mist is there, which hides everything. So when the mist goes, you would not say, or you would say, oh, the rock appeared, and it disappears with the mist. All right, but the rock was always there, and is always there. So it's like this, to search for who you are, or to realize the background of everything. It's like the rock. If you look at a thought, it looks like disappearing. If you don't look at the thought, it appears. But in fact, it's always here. So what appears and disappears is the hook at the mind or not. Is not what you are. That was it. Of course, there is a bit of confusion with the sentence I am what I am, because we always speak as an individual. So here one has to understand is the search of the substance of things. Is there anything at all? And if there is nothing to be found, that's it. Also, it's something which remains whatever happens. It cannot be grasped because you are it. It's the substance of all living beings. And it is objectified. It objectifies itself all the time with appearances, forms, names. So let that be clear. And when it's not clear, it's because there is still an attachment to a certain shape or appearance. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to have a moment of this clarity, of what remains when nothing is there, for a split second you have not to attach yourself to its appearance. So if you still read sacred books and all that, maybe it's because you still want to confirm something in yourself, or to know more. So you can do it here too. So it's not by searching that one would see the cliff. It's not by searching that you will find. What you search. It's a moment of disengagement. I think it's very essential to hear or to see by oneself that once you are, let's say, the glimpse of what is, of who you really are, the problem of the glimpse is you thought you were engaged and you hear disengaged. You disengaged. You are yourself. Now, the mind will say there is nothing here. And you believe your mind. So when something will reappear, because it has to reappear as long as this body is alive, you'll say, oh, it's not nothing now. So I lost it. So just be very vigilant not to fall into the grip of any commentary of your mind. That's all. That's why my master was very amazing to tell, it's not even emptiness. Be it. I just know it's not even emptiness. And that's it. For you too? Yes.
Is it the mind that says to the thought, it's just a thought? Is that vigilance?
I don't know. Is it the mind? But whatever we know, it's the mind, huh? Sure. So the question was, is it the mind which...
Is the mind, my mind saying to the thought, it's just mind?
It's just mind. Depends. It is the mind, but it depends from where it comes. If it is coming from a learning, it's purely mind. If it is because you have seen and it's just a comment, it's still the mind which says, but there is no root. It doesn't come from a landing, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, anything which is uttered is the mind, that's sure. What I see in Satsang, it's the mind. Yet, from where it comes, I have no idea. But it doesn't come from memory, otherwise I should prepare the Satsang, I should remember my course. And I would repeat it that since 26 years. Knowing myself, I would get bored. So this I cannot explain. But whatever is expressed, it's the mind. Sure. That's why I insist. There are pointings, you see. There are pointings. So the painting of a landscape is not the landscape. The word which speaks of the self is not the self. It points, or you can say, from where this could have come. Who catches it? Who hears it? And from where all disappears, or from where all rises, appears, it's always available. The cliff, let it be hidden or not, once you have seen that it's always there, if it appears or not, you know, it's always there. You will not search the cliff anymore. Of course, images are very disturbing too. One may fall in love with its obviousness. But in time, it will always be sometimes. Knowing that it's always there, always available. What is this knowledge? I've seen that in the scriptures they say self-knowledge. Is the self-knowledge. Okay. Self-knowledge. Doesn't clarify that much, but the knowledge of self says exactly what it is not. just to allow that split second of disengagement, actually. Yeah, please. Could you take the mic?
Thank you. What is it that is not allowing the disengagement? In that split second
Yeah.
when you're only with one idea, one...
What doesn't make it is the attachment to the mind. I am attached to a certain idea or to an experience or to a belief. It's only that.
But that is the point that I cannot see through is, well, who is it actually that is attached to that?
Okay, and you ask which kind of inquiry you do to try to see that?
Mm, I don't know if it's an inquiry. It's just feeling and looking. What is?
Yeah, but then you have not gone to the root of the experience, because you know the disappearance, which I call the mind, includes thoughts, experiences, let it be physical or let it be feelings, emotionals. So, who is the owner of this thought or this feeling? Who feels? So when you follow that question, who feels, it will not give you, or it may give you an answer in the realm of feelings, but it will not give you an answer about the one who is questioned. I feel. It is I who feels. So who is this I? The answer will be when the thought I disappears. Let it fade away. It will fade away by itself. And there itself is what you search, is the answer before you just catch another thought or another feeling. Did you go there? Do you see that? Do you understand me?
Yes, I come to the point where it's not a questioning of who, but just trying to stay as the one who is knowing the...
But you don't know anything. How do you know to stay as the one is? What does it mean? You can go in any experience then, and then what? It will not solve the substance of the whole thing. That's why you ask the question, actually. Because you are in an experience. So, in fact, yes, it's true, you have not seen what is I, for example. Is there any I at all? You have to see that by yourself. But it is not in grasping any feelings or thought or experience that it will do. Otherwise, it gives you always some answer, some experience where you will land. But the search of who am I in fact, or what is the background of whole thing, is not obvious then. A landing, an experience which is kept is like the mist, you see. It looks, there is only a mist. So it looks real. So what's your question now?
I I feel that, or I've come a couple of times to a point where I'm absolutely sure that there's nothing that I can do to take that mist away.
Okay,
And
great. Oh, great, great. Now, don't be too much obsessed by the mist, but just be alone with I then. I feel. Be alone with I. Absolutely alone. Tell me.
I think that is the trap is I see that there is that I, but there is no one. There is just an idea. It's not.
Yeah? Okay, so what you see, you still are not. It's an appearance. From where you see, that's what is. From where you see. So give a moment to that. A split second. At any time, you can always give a split second to that. All the rest is speaking of the world of appearance. I become an experiencer. I become someone who feels. I become a thinker. What I am, from where I can see that, that's what I am. All what you were not before, you became. It's not about what is. I became a seeker. I became a finder. All in the world of the appearance. I can become a finder, but it's not what I am. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Would it be correct to say that I is the source of all feeling, all thought, all experience, even?
Yeah, it is included in the source. Yeah, it's the.
So
It is
that the
because.
I that the I is the source of all the feeling, all the experience, and all the thought.
Because I rises, everything can rise. Or it may go together. Yes, yes. Then, is there a I alone?
Is there an I alone?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that is observing the I.
And what is it?
Me, I guess.
Me, I would not say because it's very personal.
Yes.
But whatever
Yes.
cannot be expressed, you agree?
Sorry?
Whatever cannot be expressed and still is here. Can you agree?
Yes, of course. The background, uh, the 0 point, the
If you don't make a concept of it,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Good.
Yes.
So, would you say that there is still something remaining in you of a search or something like that?
No, I guess.
No.
I mean, I feel it's a process of refinement, maybe, of
In the expression?
um, the I, including all of its forms that it takes, is changing in the path of this.
Okay, so you can say the expression may get refined.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Nobody wants to express himself more? Yeah.
Recently, you have spoken a lot about the fact that life, with its ups and downs, simply goes on.
Mm.
And you spoke many times about it recently. My question is the so-called promises in the scriptures and also the freedom or bliss. Is that just an indication? Or is it that in the state or in where the freedom is, that these ups and downs are received, perceived differently.
I don't know if it is perceived differently or not. It's just what one sees. No, how can you see those things? You can see those things as a witness, or you just see those things as facts of the obviousness. It appears this way, and yet one can still not search and be as one is. I don't know if I can really answer your question, because if I pointed out the life with its ups and downs, it's to root out a very dear human, it's human concept that, at least with, let's speak like that, the realization of what is, my life will be blessed. And when you say blessed, in the mind it is, of course, it's more beautiful, paradisiac and smooth and what not. Maybe some saints live that way. I don't see it that way, and it doesn't make me search, because it's just the way it appears. I don't know. If you want to hear more, you have to ask more. For me, definitively, the wisdom, the enlightenment, all this is not owned by the appearance, by the world of appearance. There is not such a thing. And yet, undoubtedly, from where you can see those things, that's its obviousness made the surge vanish. Ask more if you want. I can't say much more. What did you want to know exactly?
What I exactly want to know is a Buddha or you perceiving life differently than me.
I don't. Why you say so? Oh, I totally perceive it differently because I know it's an appearance. Even if my body suffers, my emotional heart suffers, I know it belongs to the becoming. I was born, so this is like that. But this is a story, no? Then at the same time, yes, okay. There is a different perception, but at times If you speak of the time, it is at times. Yet definitively, whatever the mind will say, when the search vanished, it vanished. So it's a mind without a search. A search of preferences as an individual, sure, but it's totally relativized, you say? Yeah, it became relative. It's like that. I don't know if it is of any enlightenment, but if there is any answer to your question. You see, when we speak of Buddha, it is what it is. It is this form, this guy with this amazing story by birth. And then he left everything and started to walk and teach wherever he was going. So there is a myth. A myth. We don't speak of Buddha when he was wanting a child that didn't come in time, that he had a giardia in his stomach or whatever. I mean, when his disciples were a bit nasty and his reactions, that's not in the legend. And good. It doesn't help anybody. The Buddha is the Buddha for what he indicated. Now the rest he didn't mention because his passion, his natural role was to indicate what is not in a story. And that didn't change with time. Still, he can speak like that. The indications are the same. That is not touched by time. But his body has been already disappeared since long. So and some people appear or are born more saintly than others. It has that is characteristic of an individual. It has nothing to do with what is. And what is doesn't order that his own expression should be in a certain way. It takes all the shapes you know. So I mean, it's not because you are more saintly that you are more enlightened. Enlightened maybe, but that you are more what is. Everybody is what is anyway. So this bullshit. Even while asking this question, trying to be clear, you are what is, you are what you search, you know. but you listen to your mind, which is inquiring, who wants to understand something as an individual. It's all right, but know that you already are what you search. Yeah.
Good morning. I'd like to read something.
Yeah, sure. Oh, of whom can I know?
It's Nisargadatta.
Okay.
So it's to want nothing and do nothing. That is true creation. To watch the universe emerging and subsiding in one's heart is a wonder.
Very nice, huh? He was very inspired. You know, you can be as much inspired by your own self. You could be as much inspired. Even when nothing comes, it's very inspiring. It's not an obligation that something comes. You cannot force the self to speak.
Could you say to watch time emerging and subsiding?
Unsubsiding means what?
Like disappearing, something like that.
So time disappearing.
Yeah,
Means
it's a wonder.
to watch time
To-
disappearing is a wonder. Yes. Don't you? You're quite inspired then. Instead of believing that you have an obligation with time, it's continuous all the time. What a wonder. Time? Like this famous book, Nothing Ever Happened, of Papaji. It's really wonderful. Nothing ever happened, okay? You open the book, everything happens, even more than in one's life. It's so full of happenings. You close the book, nothing ever happened. I mean, it's a full. Like that. Yes.
Hi, Ganga.
Hi.
Yeah.
Go
So, no, it reminds me also when you go on Facebook or on YouTube, then you have these different offers of movies, and then there is the next and next and next. It's really a continuing
Happenings.
movie thing happening. And then I see that my mind really, then it really can go just 3 hours. And then I was in Mexico, and then in Africa, in Switzerland, then on a little farm making cheese and all. And then after 3 hours, I just see, hey, the only one who can really stop these movies is me, is what I am. And then at the end, okay, 3 hours, shit, Vedanta, because Vedanta, he's really sending me off very often these things. And so, and then I thought, oh no, now I really felt again in this trap. And like I said, I was everywhere, did everything also in the bush, in Africa, and so, and then I stop, and then I just see, hey, I was really with the mind everywhere, but in the 3 hour, at the end, nothing happened. Yeah.
What a wisdom.
Huh?
What a wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see it also so a little bit like you say, so really the only one then who can stop is really, there has to be a stop, really, that Vedanta cannot send this video. Or yeah. So, yeah, that's all.
And satsang points out that only to what never happens. That is the role of the satsang. Because once you know that, then you don't need.
I don't need his videos then.
No, you don't need anything. I mean, it's okay. Or you need everything, doesn't matter. But you know what is what. You know what is what.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah? You go, you give.
Hello.
I know.
About observing.
Ah.
Prior, what you call about the self, prior to consciousness, or that, whatever you call it, there can be no observing at all. No, is that correct?
There is no observer.
There's no observer there.
Only when you start to think, then you say, oh, I am a witness. But then the observing makes it a witness. There is no separation.
So when you talk sometimes about the ocean knows it's the ocean. The wave thinks it's a wave, but the ocean is not fooled. But there's some kind of in that is some kind of knowledge there inside. No, if you talk like this.
I said there is a kind of self-knowledge, but it's a pointer. Don't confuse the self-knowledge which appeared for editing. Because the self-knowledge can say, it's fullness, waves and all that is that. It can say, it's emptiness. So what you will do with your mind, if you take the word for it, you will be again fooled and you will again search, because there is not always emptiness and not always fullness. and yet, it's a way to express what you can't express. But don't be fooled by the so-called absoluteness of what is expressed. So what was your question?
That there's no observer in
There is no observer.
prior to consciousness.
There is there is nothing. I mean, you can't say anything. Once you are there in an obvious way, you cannot say anything. And if you say something, you will speak like it's written in the scriptures or when you are inspired or things like that. I think it's clear, no? Or can you objectify what you are? What you are objectifies itself already all the time. But now we see that also the moments of, let's say, total silence or nothing ever happened, it's also an expression, a manifestation of that, but you know it. You will not, if something happens, you will not be deluded in telling, oh, something should never happen. Nothing ever happens. And yet, you see, if you start to describe, it's a mess. It's total mess. So, but it's a nice pointer. For example, this book, if it was showing only white pages, then we would land in the absolute emptiness. But the pages are full, over full. And yet, it honors the title, Nothing Ever Happens. So, don't understand. But it's very important, if you seek that and you still are deluded by the search, to know that there is something like nothing ever happens. That's why satsang are created, by that search. I have to see that, otherwise I think there is only happenings, only books with stories. That's the reality. So it's very good that there is also the voice telling, listen, and there is also nothing ever happens. And because there is nothing ever happens, everything can happen. It's a luck to hear this. That's why it's said like this. It points out again and again to what is, where nothing ever happens. But don't make a concept of it, otherwise you will be again fact, because things happen in the appearance. So you have to know what it indicates. It indicates what is ever here, regardless of time and space. And time and space can appear because of that. That's the understanding. What to do. Even if you don't understand, you are. So, what to do? It's very important to say both. Otherwise, we fall into nothing wrong if one is happy like that, but if one is not happy, there is nothing wrong. There is everything wrong to fall into this religious, spiritual absoluteness. That only is real. Then what you do with this life? You go in a cave or something, which is nice for those who love it. But it doesn't mean this is it. Well, great, fantastic, absolute confusion. And yet it doesn't matter for what is. Oh.